The offensive line, of course, is substantial and always is key in the success of the Alabama running game and keeping the quarterback, now Jalen Hurts, upright. Bradley Bozeman back at center. Cam Robinson, obviously the most notable of the 2016 starters. Everybody knows that name that follows college football. He's obviously off to the NFL draft. But other than that, a lot of experience, a lot of playing time coming back for the Tide this fall.
Absolutely. Aside from Bradley Bozeman, we have Pierschbacher, who is back in the offensive guard position at left guard. And then also we have Jonah Williams, who's come into his sophomore year at right tackle. We saw what he did last year as a freshman, played very well at times, even outplayed Cam Robinson at the left tackle position. So with Bozeman, Williams, and Pierschbacher all back, you have 3 of your 5 guys solidifying the offensive line. Now the needs in question for Alabama, left tackle and right guard. Nick Saban and offensive line coach Brent Key trying to figure out which guys will emerge, grab the bull by the horns, and play substantially in getting down the position and winning the trust of teammates. And there are a lot of guys listed here. You have Lester Cotton coming back, a Tuscaloosa native who's been seen at both offensive guard and offensive tackle. And then there's big Matt Womack, and by big, we're talking 6'7", 315 pounds big, from Mississippi. The guy is an absolute molar, tremendous footwork. I like what Matt Womack brings to the table. And then you've got some 2017 guys, Alex Leatherwood, 6'6", offensive tackle prospect. Elliott Baker, who's a JUCO guy from San Francisco, California, another offensive tackle prospect. And then Jedrick Wills from Kentucky, who can play either tackle or guard. So the question will be at that right guard and left tackle position, Mark, who's going to be the guy, or a group of guys, as I should say, that can come in, push, earn that trust, but most importantly, play effectively to be a part of that starting rotation.
Lester Cotton arrested over the weekend, charged with second-degree possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. No expectation in regards to that hampering him or being an obstacle toward him playing himself back into a position to be in the rotation?
I think it's going to play a role. Saban, we know how he likes to handle things internally with disciplinary issues. I definitely see a lot of community service work from this. Saban not happy about it. I'm pretty sure Lester Cotton not happy about it. As I mentioned, Tuscaloosa native, went to Central High School, which is 4 miles from the University of Alabama. It's right behind the school, for crying out loud in that regard. So I know how upset Lester Cotton must be. You don't want to have these situations happening, especially in the offseason when you know you're one of the guys that's buying for a starting job. So our punishment will be handed, and how well does Lester Cotton adjust to the punishment, learn from the punishment? We'll see. Does he get the playing time? Does he get a starting role? Because with these 2017 guys coming in, Leatherwood, Baker, and Wills, they're going to fight for that starting position. Even the guys that are already there, the Matt Womacks of the world, the Richie Pettibon, who was injured last year, the Dallas Warmacks, even some of the guys that are already there as returning players are going to fight for one of those 2 positions on that offensive line. It comes down to how focused is Lester Cotton during the punishment and after the punishment that will transpire into does he get playing time next season.
Hey, Stephen, when we review the wide receivers, as we just did, and look at the offensive line as well, there's one correlation that hits me. You correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what stands out to me. We know that there's a ton of talent. The recruiting rankings show that at each and every position. Calvin Ridley is a standout. He's one of the best in the game. He is the one proven commodity at wide receiver. Other than that, different than previous seasons, there weren't the second and third guys that we could depend on, knew exactly what we were going to get. On the offensive line, to a lesser degree, I think the more concerns there at wide receiver, to a lesser degree at the offensive line. Yes, Jonah Williams had an outstanding first year. The other guys in play, as you mentioned, are solid starters. Maybe not the accolades along the offensive line that we've seen return from some of the great Alabama teams of the last 6 to 7 years.
I see exactly what you're saying there, Mark. And you look at the offensive line, in the last couple of seasons, Saban's been recruiting a lot of the three-star guys. In years past, you saw a lot of four-stars, a couple of five-stars. You would see a three-star here and there. But the last couple of years, with the exception of this recruiting class, you've seen a lot of three-stars, your Bradley Bozeman's, your Pierschbachers, who are a mid-three, low four-star. So Saban's going after those guys that are just hungry, that just want to get out on the field and really truly perform. Jonah Williams was a five-star in his recruitment for that 2016 class. So a lot of times when you're looking at offensive linemen, you want to see, can you move? Do you have the footwork? Do you have the muscle mass, the hand technique? Can you shield it as an offensive tackle? Can you move within a box or a cubicle, if you will, if you're an offensive guard? Most importantly, how cerebral are you thinking-wise, that when the ball is snapped, you're already in phase, you're already in motion to act and not just set up the run game, but protect the quarterback. So in a nutshell, what Brent Key and Nick Saban prefer, and in particular Nick Saban, from the offensive line, more than just stars, how adaptable can you be? How well can you adjust on the fly? How well can you come in and learn? How well can you take what your teammates are throwing at you? But most importantly, how well can you adjust to the demands that Saban's throwing at you?
Stephen M. Smith from Touchdown Alabama joining us each and every Wednesday night to break down the Tide. We are just about a month, maybe plus a few days to spring practice. So what we're doing is setting you up for positional breakdowns as the battles will ensue very shortly in Tuscaloosa for playing time at the various positions. We talked wide receiver and offensive line tonight from the best sports that I can think of, Mr. Stephen M. Smith from Touchdown Alabama. All right, Stephen, we appreciate the time. Always a good chat.
No problem, Mark. You're too kind, sir. You are too kind.